everyone, it's Ashley, and today I am bringing you my fall reading goals slash reading list-esque video. I did this at the beginning of summer as well, where I basically told you like my reading plans for the summer. So this is my reading plans for fall. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few books that I want to read this fall. It's not necessarily that I have to read those specific books, but it's more that I want to read books within that category or genre, and these are the books that I currently think I want to read, but I may replace them with something else. So the first category slash genre that I really want to start reading more from is adult fiction. The first is The Martian by Andy Weir. I'm actually currently reading this. I don't know because of the lighting whether you can see that bookmark. I am loving this. It's hilarious. It is about a man who goes to Mars on a mission with NASA, and something happens on Mars with him and his crew thinks that he dies, so they leave Mars thinking that he's dead. And then it turns out he's not dead, and now he's trying to survive until the next mission gets to Mars, or until he can communicate with NASA to be like, hey guys, I'm alive, come get me. So it's really, really great. You'd think it'd be like depressing or sad, or that the main character would kind of like lose hope, but so far he's just really funny, and he's just trying to keep himself going. And also, like, I'm not a science nerd in any way, shape, or form. Like, nothing against science nerds. I wish I was. I just am not. But all the really like sciencey jargon, he makes it super, super like relatable. Like, I understood everything that he was explaining about NASA and Mars and like different things. So yeah, if you're weary about this because you're not really like a space nut, don't worry, because the author does a really, really good job of making it very like accessible to all of his readers. Next is Letters to Zell by Camille Griep. This book is a fairy tale retelling where the fairy tale characters that we know and love actually live in like an alternate reality, very like Enchanted the movie-esque, and they have to play out their stories. They don't have a choice. So Cinderella has to marry the prince, and Rapunzel has to marry the man who catches her long, long hair, and like all that kind of stuff. But it's about those characters not really wanting to fall into the categories that society has decided they have to, and it just seems really interesting. I'm excited about it. It's an adult fantasy novel, I guess, or yeah, an adult fantasy novel, and I'm excited to try to get to it in the fall. Next we have Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. I read the colorless Sakura Tazaki in his Years of Pilgrimage this summer, and I loved it, and I really wanted to read more Murakami, so I picked this one up because it's the one that most people say that they love the most. Like, it's one of the most popular ones, other than IQ84, which is terrifying because it's so huge. So I don't really know what this is about, other than it follows a boy and a girl, I believe in university or high school, and just kind of like their story. So I'm really, really excited to get to it. I don't know much about it. If you liked it or didn't like it, comment down below and let me know. But other than that, I will try to give you guys a wrap-up of this when I do read it, because I don't know much about it to tell you right now. Next, we have A Long Way Down by Nick Hornby. I know I want to read a Nick Hornby book this fall. I've wanted to read a Nick Hornby book for so long. It might be this one, it might be about a boy. I don't really know yet. I own both of them. Currently, this one is at the top of my list. It is about a group of people who go to the top of a building to kill themselves on New Year's Eve one year, and they meet up with each other and kind of, I guess, I'm assuming, tell their own stories and try to help the other person through it. It just seems like a really, really awesome contemporary about like mankind and the way that we function and how we really need each other, and I might be totally wrong, but if that is what it's about, then I probably will really like it because I love books like that. Next, we have Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I read this in high school a really long time ago, and I loved it, and I'm sure that I'll love it again, but I'm starting to like not remember a lot about it or why I loved it so much, other than just remembering that I loved it. So I really want to reread it and see if I like it or dislike it now, based on my headspace now versus what I was like in high school. So I want to try to get to it. A lot of people really, really love this book, including myself, so I'm excited to reread this one. Next, we have Lullaby by Chuck Palahniuk. I loved Fight Club a lot, as you guys know if you've watched my channel for a while. I got this for my birthday this year, and I really want to read another Palahniuk book, so I'm trying to get into this one. This is about a lullaby that kills children when you sing it. And there's a journalist who finds out about it and is trying to basically make this lullaby disappear, but how do you make something that is basically an oral history disappear? And last on my adult fiction list is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I don't know a lot about this book other than it's kind of like a magical realism book with a circus, but I've heard really, really good things from people and it gets really, really good reviews, and I started it, so I know I'm going to like the writing style because I've read the first few chapters. So I'm really just excited to actually read the whole thing and see if I like it. A lot of people that I really, really trust loved this book. However, it does get mixed reviews from people as a whole, so I'm really excited to see whether I love it or hate it. Okay, so those are all of the adult fiction books that I want to try to get to in the fall. As you can see, I tried to mix it up between literary fiction, classical fiction, and kind of like fun sci-fi fantasy fiction. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to read first. If you have read any of these and you love them and you want me to read one first, comment down below and let me know. I also want to read some YA this fall. I want to try to read things outside of my comfort zone, so I'm trying to read some more dystopian / sci-fi fantasy YA and not just contemporary as I normally do. So the first thing on that list is Far, Far Away by Tom McNeill. This is actually going to be in my October TBR because it is a very like Halloween-y feeling book. It also has like a very Halloween-y cover. It reminds me a lot of Hocus Pocus, which is wonderful because I love Hocus Pocus. But as far as I know, it is about a boy who can hear voices, and that's basically all I know about the plot other than the cover, which makes it seem like it's going to be kind of like eerie and cool at the same time. So I'm excited to try to dive into this one this fall. My next choice is a contemporary YA, and it is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I've heard really, really good things about this in advanced review copies. I actually received an advanced review copy, and I really, really, really want to get into it. I loved A Monster Calls, but A Monster Calls is also the only Patrick Ness book I've read, and most people, especially people on BookTube, love Patrick Ness, so I'm going to try to dive into this in the fall, and if I love it, I guess I will pick up the rest of his books. Next, we have a fantasy pick for the fall, and that is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. I have heard amazing things about this from a lot of book reviewers that I really, really respect. It is about a girl who is supposed to become a princess, and she has an arranged marriage to a prince, and on her wedding day, she flees, and then her family hires an assassin to kill her, and the prince leaves to try to find her, and she doesn't know who either one of them are, and then you as a reader see that there are two boys chasing after her, but you don't know which one is the assassin and which one is the prince. And apparently when you find out at the end, it's like a huge plot twist, so I'm really, really excited to dive into this and see if I love it as much as everyone else did. Next we have I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. This is a contemporary book with dual narration, which is basically my favorite thing in the world, as you guys know. I've also heard amazing things about this, and it's about a set of twins who were best friends growing up, and somewhere along the way something happened. One of the twins tells the story of present day and how they're not talking anymore, and the other twin tells the story of the past and how they used to be great, and then eventually they will converge into what happened that made them not like each other anymore. Next we have another fantasy novel I want to read in the fall. It's potentially dystopian, I actually don't know for sure, and that is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Leigh Bardugo is a BookTube fave. People absolutely loved this series, they love the author. I have not read anything by her, so I really, really want to get into this series, and I don't know much about it other than people absolutely love the Darkling, which apparently is like a villainous-ish character, like an anti-hero-ish character, but people like love him. So I'm excited to read this and see if I love the series as much as everyone else does. And last but not least, we have another cute YA contemporary, and that is Never Always Sometimes by Addie Alced. This follows two best friends in high school who have been best friends forever, and they have a never list, which is basically a list of things that they are never allowed to do in high school, so that it basically prevents them from becoming cliches. And then they're about to graduate high school, and the girl thinks, you know, why don't we do everything on the never list? And that works for the boy best friend because he's secretly in love with her, and one of the nevers is to never fall for each other. And if she wants to do every single never, then she's gonna have to fall for him. It seems very, very cliched. It actually seems like it could totally be like a 90s movie, which is totally up my alley. I love those cliched 90s movies. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they're good movies, but like I love them. I love wasting my time watching them. So I'm very, very excited to dive into this because I feel like it's going to be really, really cute and heartwarming, and also a very, very quick read. Alright, so here are all the books I want to try to get to this fall. It's a big stack. I probably will not get to all of them, but I'm gonna try, and if not, maybe I'll replace them with other books in the same type of category. If you have read or want to read any of these, always comment down below and let me know. And if you've read any that you want me to read, like first, like you know I'm gonna love them and you really, really want me to read them, always comment down below or even tweet at me and let me know. And other than that, I will see you guys soon with another video. Happy reading. Bye!